Hello, dear friends. Welcome to English Lovers of English Literature channels. Today we are going to discuss about Sir Francis Bacon, a writer of 16th century who exercised a great influence on this century that without mentioning his name, it will not be justification with Sir Francis Bacon with the science and modern studies. So today we are going to discuss about what type writer he was, what type works he wrote, and whatever he was in his whole life we are going to discuss in this video. So the good thing for the audience, for my viewers, is that now they can also see the same video in Urdu. So we are producing videos, same video with English and Urdu. So if someone is unable to understand fully in English, he can also watch the same video in description box from Urdu. So let's start without wasting any time, dears. So, introduction to Francis Bacon, a man of intellect and science. Why do we call this man a man of intellect and a man of science? Of course, he wrote a lot of works that are in the favor of science, in the favor of philosophy, and in the favor of empiricism. So, let's begin with next. So, Francis Bacon was born in 22nd January 1561. He died on 9th April 1626. His total age was 65 years. He was an English writer and also served as an attorney and Lord Chancellor of England. He is actually the writer of Renaissance. Renaissance was at the lust, at the peak when he was born. He was very much impressed with the spirit of Renaissance. Renaissance actually was the rebirth of the literature, art, and things. He also contributed to this movement. He wrote a lot of works, father of modern philosophy, father of modern science. He is also the father of empiricism. What type his works was? His works can be respectively divided into many categories. As we talk about philosophical works, the advancement of learning, Novum Organum, Silva Silverum, literary essays, the New Atlantis, the history of Henry. In the professional field, we see his works, maxims of laws, parading on the statues of uses. So guys, his first division of his essays, first division, in the volume there are 10 essays that he published in 1597. His second editions in essays, he published approximately 29 essays in 1612. In third edition, he published under Bacon's own supervision 19 essays 1625 before the death of 1 year. So Alexander Pope, what does say Alexander Pope about this person, about Francis Bacon? Francis Bacon actually was a utilitarian in his approach. Wherever he saw the chance, he get the advantage in full extent from that chance. He didn't miss any chance in his life. He was, you can say, the utilitarian in his approach. He was in the favor that whatever we find, we should get advantage in full extent. So he always, it is said that he was a cheap person because he betrayed his friend in his life and many other people for the success. Wherever he sees the success, wherever he looks at the chance, he ignores his old friends and others. So Alexander, what does Alexander Pope says? Alexander Pope is actually the 18th century poet and essayist who also wrote Rape of the Lock. So he says, if parts elude these think how Bacon shined the wisest, brightest, and the meanest of mankind. He made this statement on Francis Bacon because he also accepted he also accepted the wisest and brightest. He was very much inspired, and even he was in you can say he was very much inspired by the work. He said he was the wisest and brightest according to his wit and intellect, but on the other side of the same coin, he was the meanness of mankind. He was meanness in a sense. He betrayed many friends for the success, for gains, for achievements. He betrayed his close friend when chance came. He didn't miss the chance and also betrayed his friends. So that's why Alexander Pope made this statement on his. He also confessed, he also accepted the reality that he was a bright and wisest man, but at the same time, he was also a meanness. So there are many writers who have been commenting negatively and positively on Francis Bacon as if we talk about his wit, uh, Dean Church, who is a critic, who said his works, his intellect, about his essays. He says his advices come like a hammer of stroke on the mind. It means that his works were so forceful and meaningful in themselves that they conveyed meaning in full sense. This is some basic truth in his contention. One cannot deny his wisdom, his powerful intellect and genius. He was uh, calculating, complex, and enigmatic character. Enigmatic means a very complex character. It was difficult for everyone to understand him in full accent and so on. Dichotomy is dichotomy is here. His character and his essays too. He had great brains, not a great soul. This is also a comment that a commentator made on Francis Bacon. The wisest man. What was the sense? In which sense he was the wisest man? He was a wise man, a man of powerful and tremendous intellect. He thirsted for infinite knowledge. He urged man to experiment, not to accept things for granted. He was pioneer of modern science. Brightest. So, if we talk about the brightest, he was also the brightest man. He was a brilliant scholar and a man of vivid imaginations. He sports the ideas and arguments with innumerable quotations, allusions, and analogies that speak for his wife and all-inclusive knowledge. The aptness of similes, the witty turn of the phrases, and the compact expression of weighty thoughts and evidence enough, the brightest of his intellect. He was and is considered now the brightest man. In conclusion, I would like to say he was an English writer and belonged to the Renaissance period. He was conclusive and complex man. He had great brain but not a great soul. He was a meanest man. So overall, as we have studied his works, he was a man of character. He always was after the success. So that's why we can say, dear fellows, though his essays are regarded one of the best essays, and people are getting and extracting knowledge from these essays as of studies, of truth, of friendship, of suspicions, and of adversity. There are many essays he wrote on multiple subjects that even nowadays he is considered as the father of the modern philosophy, of modern science. There's no doubt his essays are so forceful, even in one line, he concludes. His one line actually works as a paragraph. A paragraph. And so, my dear friends, it is enough for today. So, if you like my video, please share and don't forget to like, and also please share this video, and you can also see this video in Urdu pattern, in Urdu version. in description. Thanks for watching.